Hey folks, it's Woody here at USA Made Blade, and very excited to introduce to you guys our newest Hinderer knife, which is an exclusive to USA Made Blade, the Hinderer half-track Wharncliffe, and Warnie as we all like to affectionately call it. And we are very excited to have these stunners in. It's kind of a little joke, and we'll explain that later. But it's a fantastic utilitarian, just everyday carry knife, and small, compact, overbuilt, everything we love about a folder, everything we love about that everyday carry model that you want safe to carry in so many places. That's not going to offend all the knife freaks out there. So let me give you a little background on these while I show off the working finished model. Nope, help if I hold on to them. Don't worry, these two are mine. So a little history on these. So we had our we got in these prototypes about a week ago, and I've gotten to put them to work. But we had our open house this past week, and that's where we introduced it, was on Saturday. And then on Tuesday, we put them up on the internet. And I wanted to give myself some time to carry them and test them out and see what I thought, so I could give you guys a really good video feedback. Plus, we've been busy with all that stuff going on. But what I wanted to do is tell you the history and how this came about. So last year at our open house, we had introduced the half-track Spanto. And when we did, Rick and I sat around afterwards going, okay, what's going to be the next half-track? And we talked slicer, we talked Spanto, or harpoon Spanto, we talked about a spear point, not a spear point, I'm sorry, a Skinner. And then Rick kept bringing up a Warnie. And I was like, Rick, I'm not a Wharncliffe guy. I'm just never been a Wharncliffe fan. I don't think it's going to work. And Rick said, let me draw something up and let's look at it. So he went back and he got to work pretty quickly on it and drew it up and sent me just a sketch of it. And so this is what I'm leaning towards, with this big reverse angle on it. And he sent it to me, and I immediately called him, and I was like, damn, Rick, that is so ugly. And it is. It was just ugly. But at the same time, I was like, I got to have it. We have to do this. And we kept, I was hesitant. I was scared. Because, you know, it's very different. It's not your typical Hinderer knife. But I referred to it back then, and I still do. It's like a bulldog. It's not attractive, but for some reason, I just got to have it. And we've had a lot of other people that seem to feel that way too. So anyway, that's how it came to be. And Rick was just hell-bent on doing this reversed angle on it. And after using some other knives that have this angle, which we'll talk about later, I knew that it would be a hellaciously awesome everyday carry utilitarian knife. So a couple little specs and things like that on it. Number one, we'll show you guys in a little bit, but it's wicked sharp right out of the box. Detents on them have been great. Lockup is early and it's tight. Not worried about lock slip or things like that on these, but detent and action on them are fantastic. A little surprising, but I have noticed the working finish actually seemed to be a little smoother than the stonewashed. We're talking about nths of a difference, so but they are, I think they're a little smoother than the stonewashed versions. But they all fly. They all have great action on them, great lockups. So give you some specs, and then we'll move on to some other things that we want to tell you about the knife. So total overall length is 6.5 inches. Blade length is 2.75 inches. Now that is blade length from the handle to the tip. The cutting edge is actually just slightly over 2.5 inches. So the sharp edge on it is a little over 2.5. Weighing in at 4.2 ounces, so not too terribly heavy, but not light either, and it is an overbuilt knife. 20 CV steel, you can see that on there. And we are on the tri-way pivot system, and it's on the other side. Well, if I can get it to show up. Right there's that tri-way symbol, so we are the tri-way pivot system. And yeah, I said 20 CV steel. Oh, and we do have the steel lock bar insert. So these are the Gen 2 models. And so all the good things that you want to see on a Hinderer and plenty more. So let's move from here. Let me highlight, we're going to move over and let me highlight some of the things that I've really found to love about the knife and why we think you guys might want to consider picking one up. All right, folks, so we're back and just want to kind of go over some of the features that I really love about this knife. I got 2 prototypes in from them, in from Hinderer, so I've been carrying them carrying this one for about a week now. And one of the things just to start off that you're going to notice, and I'm probably going to catch some hell for this, but these are older Benchmade catalogs, 2017 or 2018. And I like to use them for these cutting demonstrations because they're the thicker paper, so you can really hear the knife going through it. And but one of the things you're going to notice right out of the box is just how damn sharp it is. And considering the type of knife it is and the everyday use task out of it that you expect out of it, you want it to be wicked razor sharp right out of the box. And I think Hinderer did a really good job, knocked it out of the park with these as far as sharpness right out of the box. Now, one of the things about a Wharny that always scares me a little bit is that tip, how thin that tip gets. But you're going to notice on Hinderer's, put this in the way here without cutting my hand, I hope, is you still got a lot of steel coming down. So it's not as thin of a tip as some, but it's still pretty damn wicked sharp. So working on those flatter surfaces, it will definitely get in there. And I'm not putting a ton of pressure on this, but just raking it across this paper, and this is that thicker paper, it definitely gets through it. But you're not gonna have to worry about tipping your knife easily. It's a very durable, very strong tip. Next thing up, so as we've talked about with this reverse angle, kind of like on the Koenig Mini Goblin, it works really well. So I brought in a 3.5 inch Wharncliffe that we have here at the shop. And my problem with Wharnies has always been that flat edge coming down. You're not able, and I'm going to steal this idea from Knife Crazy, who already did a review on the half-track Wharny. You're not able to get to a flat slicing cut. The flipper tab's in the way for one, and then your finger is in the way for the other. So with this new reverse angle on the Hinderer Wharny, you got no problem getting that flat cut in. So you can definitely works better with slicing. And definitely stabby. There's no doubt about that. So wicked sharp out of the box. And then lastly, with the things that I love about it is, you know, we're calling it kind of the ultimate utilitarian knife. You're probably going to hear me say this a bunch of times in the video. And, you know, for a knife you're going to use every day and use hard, you certainly don't want to go through a lot of trouble sharpening it. And no issues there. I mean, you know, no angles to work with, no curves to work with, just that flat, straight edge on it, still giving you a nice sharp point. So no problems with just, you know, getting it flat and just working that one straight edge all the way down on a strop or with sharpening. Definitely makes sharpening a much easier task, which is something you're going to want with a utilitarian blade. So let's swap from here. Those are the things I've really enjoyed about it. I've cut up a lot of boxes, a lot of tape. I've put this puppy to really good use. And this is still the original edge, and you can see it's held up really, really well. So let's switch gears from here and take you guys over and show you some comparisons to other knives, and hopefully give you more reasons to pick one of these up. All right, so we're back, and let's do some comparisons to some other popular knives that we sell. Some of these we sell, and we have in stock, some we don't. But I want to start off with just the Spanto version. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this, see if I can get that to show up better, is because a lot of people have said, looking at the pictures that we have, that actually the Wharny looks like it's a little shorter. But actually putting these two flat on a surface, you will, if I can get them even, it's hard to do at an angle here. The Wharny might actually have a fraction of a hair more blade length to it. But I mean, if it is a fraction of a hair, it's barely a fraction of a hair. So they are the same length. So hopefully that'll help you guys out that have thought that the blade looks a little shorter. I think that's just because of this angle on it. So move through some of these others. The Eclipse 3-inch, we're actually out of these right now, but surprisingly, and I promise I'm not a liar, Hinderer found a few more, so we're gonna get a few more next week. But here it is compared to the Hinderer Eclipse 3-inch. And next up, the 18 XM18 3.5-inch. We don't have any of these in stock. This is just an old user that we had here at the shop that is Kevin's, I believe. So give you an idea compared to the 3.5. And then this one I actually want to lift them up and talk about for a minute, but here it is compared to the 3-inch. This is the vintage model, which we've got a few of these left available. And the differences between the 3-inch. The 3-inch, you know, one of the pros on the 3-inch compared to the half track, you can get all 4 fingers on it. So the difference is that the 3-inch is thinner across the spine. So this, when it fills your hand up more, I feel like you can get a better grip on the half track, but the pinky is kind of holding off a little bit there. So, but definitely the half track fills the hand up better. So those are kind of the two big differences between the 3-inch and because you get more width, you get more thickness on the handle. The full works on that. So let's move over just to show it. We've got the LP1 here. This is the Warney version that just recently came out in Hinderer's little neck knife version. So, and then we always, just because it is one of the most well-known knives in the world and everybody's probably owned one at some point in time, we always include the Benchmade mini griptilian and the full-size griptilian. So truthfully, we'll get the full size out of here. Honestly, we're real close in size to the mini grip. Very similar. You can see it's tip to end. It's really close in overall length. Just obviously thicker handle, thicker blade, more overbuilt blade on the half track, of course. And then we've been asked a lot on these videos to start including a Benchmade 940. So thought we'd throw one of those in there for you guys. And then let's throw in, oh, I left out a Hinderer. Let's throw in Jurassic. So you get a little bit more blade length and a little bit more handle length on the Jurassic. And the Jurassic's just a bigger built knife, so at 3¼ inch and beefier kind of all the way around. So let's switch gears and go over, this back a little bit, go over and show you guys just go small. We sell a lot of ZT, so here it is compared to the ZT0022. And then compared to the ZT0450. Hopefully these will give you guys just some ideas if you're thinking about it. And I like this one. This is just the 456 is one of the things that also helped inspire me, because when the 456 came out, a lot of people weren't sure about it, and I carried it and used it right off the bat and just found how unbelievably good of a blade it was and how well it worked. And I feel like we're going to have the same kind of results here with the half track Warney. So, but there it is compared to the ZTO 456. And we don't have any Eclipse 3-inch models in stock, so I thought I'd show you guys a ZT393. It's the same size as the 3.5-inch Eclipse. So hopefully that'll help both the ZT and the Hinderer guys. If you have an Eclipse, this will give you a really good idea. And then we're a big Southern Grind dealer, so got to show off our other exclusive. This is our red G10 Southern Grind Spider Monkey, and which we're actually starting to run pretty low on, and really pretty close in overall size. You just get a thicker, more overbuilt knife with the half track. And funny, I'm showing this one for two reasons. It's the Southern Grind Quill. We love this little knife, and it's also kind of got that angled back Warney on it. So not quite as steep of an angle because you can't get it flat, but also because when Rick and I were originally talking about the half track Warney, I thought it'd be this knife just smushed and fatter. So it's definitely different from them, but always got to show off. Hinderer and Chris Reeve are really good friends, so want to show off the Chris Reeve Sabenza 21. And truthfully, these are really close. Handle size is pretty much spot on, and you get just that little 1/4 inch more blade out of the Sabenza 21, small Sabenza 21. And then lastly, I saved it for good purpose or good reason, is the Koenig Mini Goblin. And these knives are just very, very similar. Both, and this is how, when Rick showed me that design, I had already been carrying a Koenig Mini Goblin for a while and knew how well this performed on everyday task. So I knew when he sent this design with this reverse angle on it, like the Koenig has, that it was going to perform really well. So both fantastic knives, both very utilitarian, both great for everyday carry usage. So that's it. And just to give it to you and give you all the comparisons. So this is the working finish version. We've got these available in different colors, working finish and stonewashed. I think I've already said it, but the DLC and full tie will be coming along end of December, beginning of January, we hope. So we hope you'll check them out. Like I said, it is our exclusive. It is only available at usamadeblade.com, and we absolutely love it. So we hope you'll go over and check them out and pick yourself up one. As always, folks, thank you for watching.